divine. O my Guru gracious, I owe my all to you. Wishing you all a very good morning and happy to see you all with this topic today, the needy excellence. That is the topic taken for today's discussion. When we see the topic itself, the word needy, why did I mention that in this topic? What does it mean to us? When we say needy, that stands for like most wanted or badly in need of, right? So the next word, excellence. So it creates indirectly another question to all of us, right? What is the most needed excellence for all of us today? So that is the question we will be discussing in today's topic. Before going for answering to that question directly, we will try to analyze what we mean by excellence. Excellence, again, it is like something we keep doing with some improved approach, right? Always trying to do better than the best. So continuously improving the things what we do. So with that meaning, again, coming back to that question, so what kind of or what type of excellence is needed for today? So again, we will discuss about some of the types of excellence, right? Because when we say like an open question, so we need to see some kind of samples which are available around us, right? Again, we have to go back to the business world because as we all live in current life, it's completely like a materialistic world, right? So we are all doing some kind of activities or professional jobs for our livelihood. So that is the world will be coming in front of us immediately when we try to see our life, right? So in that business world, I'm trying to list out some types of excellence which are available around us. So based on the nature of business, the organizations like industries or the research forums, whatever be the organization or the group, so they'll be having a different type of excellence today, right? And today, being the competitive world, continuously people are trying to improve their things, or way of doing the things. So based on that, there are different conceptual excellence were brought in this world. Like, for example, the financial excellence, sales excellence, productivity excellence, process excellence, operational, maintenance, safety. So like whatever you name it, whatever be the core business as well as the main focused business activity happening in any of the organization, they try to excel in it and keep developing a concept to maintain that excellence. So in short, majority of the organization today, they have some kind of like center of excellence, which will be having a set of experts sitting together and giving up some kind of improvement initiative ideas, as well as the working on the implementation of the plan also. Like excellence has to be sustained, right? So whatever be the way it's being done, there should be some improvement and it has to be maintained all through the years coming ahead also. So that is where the current business world is heading to. So again, going back to our question. So what is the needy excellence for us today? So any of the excellence, what we are seeing here, is that matching as an answer to the question raised by this topic? Okay, so let us, before answering again fully to it, we will try to analyze the results of the current excellence itself, right? So as we talked, that is all made for making some kind of improvement or progressive development in the organization itself, right? So every excellence example, what we have seen in the previous slide, is creating some kind of change, obviously, right? So that is the reason that concept is accepted and being followed by many of the organization across the world today. But what it give to us personally. So if you compare in that way, like we are all doing that job for our livelihood. So based on that, it definitely gives some kind of positive result to us, because the way of doing is being improved. So that way we got some kind of improvement in our job also. So that gives some kind of satisfaction and some kind of happiness to us. So that is there. Apart from that, personally, because we are not ending our life in our official or professional life itself, right? We have to come out of the business world. End of the day, we are all coming to our home to be with our family, right? Sharing and sharing all both the positives and negatives with and maintaining the relationship. So we are all coming back to our real life every day, end of every day, right? So what way these excellences are helping in that kind of life? If we think in that point of view, again, we couldn't get any of these excellences suiting as an answer for our first question, which was raised by the topic, right? So again, in depth, if you see, how is our current life, the personal life, if we compare? Professionally, we are doing a lot of activities with continuous improvement and with all those excellence programs which are developed. But how is our personal life? How is our relationship with our colleagues, our friends, or even with our siblings? And within family also, we can say, like with our children, with our spouse. So how is it being maintained? So if you go in depth overall in this society, if you compare how many of us are having good colleagues, which is giving a positive support as required and as ideally it has to be. But if you are comparing with that ideal state and the current situation around us, most of us will be having a huge difference, right? So with all this, we could realize there is some kind of lack of positivity in all our personal life, like relationship and all this kind of self improvement. When we talk about these excellences, which we saw as an examples, were not supportive in moving forward at all. And so having seen that and realized that, so what is missing for us? So we all know that the human being is a powerful species among all the living beings in this world. So we have very high capabilities, which is not there with all other living beings also. So we will be able to continuously improve by using the technology for our own need, right? So that is the special capability we all have, and we are all continuously progressing also. So having all these special capabilities, and the gap is still seen there, right? So what is missing? So when you come to this core question, like what is missing, we are just thought of sharing one of the information about the human being itself. If we are talking about this powerful species, any guess what could be the age of the human being? That's a question to all of you. Any guesses about the age of human being? If you are talking about the first human, what will be the age for him today? Or how many years back the human species evolved in this world? Can you make a guess? Just to share our current standpoint before we go to the answer of it. Any of you can type in chat. Yes, I could see a message from Surya sir, 5,009 years, or 5,000 years. Okay. Yeah, that's like a fair guess, right? 5,000 years ago, human being might be evolved in this world. Why that information is being shared or being taught now? We are talking about the powerful species and continuously growing and rapidly progressing, utilizing all the technological innovations around us to improve our way of living, right? That's what the human being has gone through all this journey of lifetime. Then when this is going on for how long? So that is what we are trying to visualize. Some philosophies or some research forums are arriving with a figure of like 5.2 million years ago, the first human has been evolved in this world. That's what they are telling. And the most acceptable or realistic figure is like something like 300,000 years ago, the modern shaped human being started living in this world. That's what the most acceptable figure. So we can, for this discussion, we can keep that as a basis, like 300,000 years ago, first human being evolved. So think about the whole journey of the human being and it's their life, right? So what is missing? It got gradually deteriorated, right? The originality, our capability, our qualities, which were maintained. One way we are rapidly progressing, but the other way it is not utilized positively. So that kind of negativity dominated that also. So that is what we are seeing. So that is playing like an important factor in making this change greatly. And also we got like a lot of supports in this long journey, right? Many spiritualists or philosophers came to this society and they have given all kind of required information to maintain or to sustain that required qualities for all this human being also. So they have raised their concerns, the way where we are going may not be right, and they commented on the way of things being done. So how can that be changed? And even some of them raise some caution to us also to make a new direction to us. How can we avoid this missing path and come back to the right track? But having said that, all these have happened in these many years, but still we didn't get the proper results in our life. That's what we are seeing in our realistic situation today, right? So the next question we are leading to is like, why is it missing? So again, this also linked with the same age-old period, which is a prolonged or very long period of the human being, which is living in this world. And that is also one of the main reason for this missing. And also the ignorance. There are two things, right? When we talk about understanding, one is like unknown, other category is ignorance. Unknown could be like easily manageable, right? So when you provide that necessary knowledge, that unknown category can be filled easily. But the ignorance is the challenging part, because we know the things, but we keep ignoring. So that is one of the main factors for creating this kind of way of current life situation for all of us. So here I just thought of sharing one story, which could be giving some kind of insight to all of us. Some of us might have heard this story also. There's one man going to a barber shop for his regular haircut and beard trimming. Okay, he went there as usual. He started talking to the barber, and barber started his job. So during haircut, as usual, a lot of conversation happening between both of these two. And the barber keeps sharing about the current affairs, news, and other stuff. A lot of things are being discussed. So gradually, the topic came to the spiritual side. Then suddenly, the barber shared his opinion that I don't believe God exists. This is the statement made by the barber. Then the person asked, why you think so? Why you said in that way? Then the barber said, no, we see the current world, many people are in trouble, and the diseases, new diseases are coming to the people, which is affecting the lives of many people, right? And the children. So even the small children are going through the miserable situation today. They are being betrayed by the parents, and many of the children are left in orphanage. And if the loving God, if really he exists, he will not allow such things to happen. So that is the reason I don't believe God exists. So this is a statement made by the barber. Then this person, okay, he didn't want to continue the argument, because anything you put up, it may go like an argument, and which may affect the situation further. So he kept quiet, and job completed. Okay, haircutting done, and all these routines finished by the barber. And he paid the money, and the person was coming out of the barber shop. Just walking on the road, he saw a man who is walking on that road with a long hair and dirty condition and a beard and all, like, right? People who are living on the road will be how they will be appearing. So he's like a person who is not having his own home. So he's living on the road, and his physical condition is like badly appearing, right? Dirty and ugly, the long hairs and other stuff. Then immediately something flashed on that person who came for the haircut, no? So that person's mind. So he just walked back to the barber shop and opened the door and talked to the barber who is sitting there after finishing his job. So he just mentioned to that barber, I don't think barbers exist in this world. Then the barber got confused and surprised why this statement is suddenly being made by him now. What do you mean now? Because just now I finished my job, and you came here, and we had a good chat, and I did the job also for you. So why you say this statement now? Like barbers doesn't exist. I'm here and I did my job also. That is what the barber said. Then the person further explained to him, no. If barber is existing in this world, there will be no person with long hair and without trimming of that beard. And I saw a person on this road itself now when I'm working out. So there was a person seen in that condition. So that means to me that barber doesn't exist. Now the barber realized his earlier conversation about God. So this is giving like an indirect answer. That's what he understood. So then the further discussions happened between them, and they came to a proper, healthy conclusion. And then the person went away. Okay, so what this story tells us here, when we talk about understanding, we all need to understand about ourselves first, right? So that has to be like, if it is unknown, we have to develop that knowledge and come out of that. And once we know something about ourselves, we should be maintaining that all through their life. That should be the basic responsibility for every one of us. So that way we will be able to avoid this kind of missing, right? As we know, we are all powerful. We know that fact also, and we are living for a very long, prolonged period in this world. And we could use a lot of resources which are available naturally and artificially, and being converted for our comfortable way of living, right? So with all those understanding, we should be keeping the purpose or the real value of ourselves to maintain that. So that is the gap we need to fill also here. And one more information I thought of sharing, I thought of to mention here is like about the capability, right? Comparing to that story, we all should realize the value of ourselves, and we should go back to the origin from where we all got evolved, and try to understand the connectivity between these two sources, right? One is like origin, which is the full resource, and other one is a fraction which came out of that full object, full, fullness. From that fullness, this fraction has come out. So what is the connectivity between that? And understand the reality of that, and then try to maintain that all through the life. So by this, we know that by nature, the fullness has given all the essential qualities for every fraction equally, right? So how that's being utilized only is being differed. And all of us know that when we show our love and affection, not only to the living beings around, not only to the human beings around us, to all the living beings in this world, when it is shown, when it is exhibited, the benefits we are getting out is also huge, and the effect is totally different, right? So these were the few things which were seen as like missing for today's life for all of us. So thinking further, relating to that question, so from our guru, Sri Vedatri Maharishi, so let us try to recall what we learned in our system, because we are all, like I'm saying, all the attendees here, most of us, almost all of us are practicing. Nobody is totally new to Vedatriyam here, right? So we are all learned the practices and adopting that in our life also. And we are seeing some changes of these practices in our life. So let us try to relate with our question, right? Today's question: what is the most needed excellence for our life today? So when we try to raise that question and see the differences in our life by the practices, so there is some clear answer given by our guru. That's what I realized when we tried working on this discussion topic for today. Yes, the answer given by our guru, it is human excellence. So that is the most needy excellence for all of us in today's life to fulfill all the gaps we have seen earlier also for when we see like a entire human society and the compare with the way of life with all those miseries which is being gone through. So this is the main excellence which is required to all of us. So not only answering with that word, our guru has given a clear way also how to improve that. Yeah, before going in detail on that part, I just thought of sharing this word about some history of this word itself. Like in our organization, this human excellence, when Maharishi is coining this word, also in an interesting situation. There was some discussions being going on, being made by the team with our guru about taking our practices, because before these practices were being shared in wider level, it was like through our own centers, it's being taught to the people who are interested, right? That is the way we were growing. So that time there was some discussion by the organizers and the leaders of our organization with our guru. They are talking that we have to go to the next level. So we need to take our practices in to the universities, like university degree or some kind of degree programs we have to develop so that it will be beneficial to wider public and it can create a big change in the human society also. So that time we were talking about the name, what could be the program name, because we are used to have like different terminologies, right? Like simplified Kundalini Yoga, or it is called in Manavalakalai in Tamil. That is a practice named as so far. So on that moment of time, Maharishi was sharing this word. So we should be called as Yoga for Human Excellence. So that was the name given for all our university degree programs, because there are a lot of other yoga programs are being handled in that way, right? Like university programs, diploma or degree programs were being given to the society. So we have to be unique and differing from them and to identify our own self. So Maharishi has given this particular word like yoga for human excellence. So before that period, we were called in a different name. So this is the interesting moment we got that word of human excellence from our guru. So he also gave like he realized that human excellence is an art and it has to be properly given to all of us. So that is the reason he made like a structured way of practices, which should be addressing all the needs of the human being, wherever they live and whatever the way their life is. So it should be addressing all kind of requirements for the entire humanity in this world. So when we compare with all these discussion points and the programs given by our guru with the name of Yoga for Human Excellence, it is really surprising how an ideal system can cover, because there are a lot of systems, there are a lot of practices available in this world which can address to some kind of extent to the people, and they were all creating some positive changes or improvements in the life also, no doubt with that. But the way our system is making that change, which we can see our own selves as well as in our own surroundings, and also the feedback which we are receiving from our practitioners are really giving a big surprise on our unique valueness of our system. Okay, so what could be the new approach by learning this practice, by following it so far, and by adopting that in our life and trying to make continuous change by that approach, right? So how we have to be, that is what the next question will be driven to us, right? So we are all practicing it, how much change it brought, that can be measured by every one of us, and also how we have to be in future. So that also we need to put a plan, and then we need to move forward. So when we are seeing some kind of improvement in life, so it has to be in all dimensions, right? It's not only like when we say our self improvement, our self growth, our self progression, it is not only like a physical thing for us. So it has to be addressing in all kind of dimensions, like physical health and mental health, and also the spiritual and social kind of progression. So for addressing all these kind of dimensional progress could be done through our system. That is what we can realize, and we could see on the people also. So how our approach could be? So we have to be like a role model or a stepping stone for the progression of the entire humanity, right? Because we are like a sample of that whole ocean of people in this world. So when we are not seeing that humanity is not being shared in the society, so how can we do that? We can be the initiator of that sharing person. So when we are seeing all this missing in the society, we can try to bridge that gap by filling the missing things. So that is what we all could do by learning this and following these practices. Okay, as a new learner, so for people who know the system, it is very clear for us and what result it could give us, which we have seen some kind of small or big impact in our personal life based on the situations. But as a new person, if somebody is talking about our system, what our yoga for human excellence can give to the humanity. So that is what shown here, which is the structural way of practices given by our guru. So it all starts with like simplified physical exercises. When we say that simplified physical exercises, it is mainly addressing the physical health. So all the body parts within ourselves have to be maintained in a proper condition and a proper way of functioning all through our lifetime, which is not like a 1 or 2 years, right? It is like a huge number of years, at least in an average 100 years of lifetime. All those essential and important body parts have to be functioning in the way it has to be. So that is the reason the simplified physical exercises are being taught as a first step in our practices, which will be addressing all the body parts, not leaving any of them, with a rhythmic exercise provided to every body part to ensure that they are functioning all through the life. So the next practice is the meditation practice, which is addressing the mental health. As we know, how critical to control our mind, right? So the mind is a powerful tool which can be tuned properly so that we can get the greatest benefit out of it when we utilize it properly. So for using it in that proper manner, so these meditation practices will be helpful. So which will be giving a result of like reduced mental frequency, so that we will be able to improve our willpower and the concentration, so that we will be able to analyze the things and do a proper action, which will be giving a peace of mind as a result with those practices. And next we have Kayakalpa Yoga, which is another unique practice in our system. So it is mainly addressing the life force, right? We are all losing some kind of energy from our physical body because of living on everyday basis, right? So based on our activities we do, based on our mental functioning within us, we will be losing some kind of energy on continuous basis. And also we are getting some kind of energy also, not only from the food, what we take as intake, and also from the natural elements around us also, we are getting some energy. So these energy have to be synchronized or to be managed in a balanced way. So whenever it is required, the energy have to be fulfilled from the available resources in a proper manner. For that functioning, this Kayakalpa Yoga is helping, and particularly for life force, which is the unique energy we all have within our physical body. So that life force strengthening as well as the conservation. So these are being achieved by this unique practice of Kayakalpa Yoga, which we learned through this Yoga for Human Excellence also. And the next stage is the introspection practices, which are being taught in a different levels. So after doing certain period of meditation, so we need to adopt this in our life, because doing meditation will be increasing the willpower. So we will be able to decide to do some things, and the execution also will be easier because of the increased willpower. But there could be some wrong things happening also. There is a possibility for that also because of the increased willpower. So the decision has to be clear. So what we mean by clear? So it has to be like beneficial to all the human being, right? Because the same willpower can lead you to a negative side also, to create a harm to entire human society. So that should not be there. That is the reason these introspection practices are introduced in our yoga for human excellence as an essential step after the meditation. Once you get some kind of proper willpower and ability to make decisions, so these introspections have to be adopted. So when we take up some kind of self-analysis, so what will be the effect of this thing when it is being done? So that will be the first question. We will be starting with that introspection. So from that point, we will be able to analyze many things, why we get anger, why the emotional uncontrol is happening within our body. So these kind of things can be analyzed, and we can get a balanced approach all through the life in all the situations. So that will be leading us towards the virtuous way of living. And the next main concept, the cause and effect system. So some kind of in-depth understanding and in-depth philosophical explanation given by our guru on this cause and effect system. Because all the pleasure and pain which we are going through is all based on this cause and effect principle, which we learned in our practices, right? So this will be guiding us again to find out why we go through the problems, as well as when some enjoyment is coming in our life also, we should realize that it is all based on the cause and effect, and it is given by some kind of superpower above us. So with that gratitude, when we enjoy that enjoyment also, so that will be giving a balanced way of living for us. So on that basis, when we move forward, we will be able to maintain the relationship with all our surroundings also. So we will be able to understand why others are behaving in that way beyond our expectation. Then those questions, those kind of confusions will be resolved by this way of approach. Then the next step is like karma yoga practice. So everything we do, the activities, what we are doing, it has to be in yogic manner. What does it mean? So we have to properly make a filtration before we put anything as an act by us, right? Because the activity which we are going to do has to be in a moral way. So that should create some benefit to us and others. And it should not create any harm in any way, currently or in future. whatever be the situation or whatever be the persons or objects, it should not be creating any harm. So on that basis, keeping that as a base rule, we have to do all our activities in our life. So to put that in a effective practical way in our life, so this karma yoga philosophical explanations will help us and guide us. And then at the end, about philosophy of divinity. Philosophy of divinity, yeah. So as we talked earlier, also we all are evolved from the single full source, right? So that is the supreme power. From that supreme power, we all got separated as a fraction, and we are functioning today. So that realization is required. It is not only us, whoever is around us, and whoever is helping us, or whoever is creating some kind of trouble to us. So all those are to be seen in the equal manner, in the same philosophical way. So when we are able to implement that kind of practice in our life, so that will be guiding us to reach to the blissful state. So that is the full ultimate wisdom which is required for all the human beings. So these were the short essence which are given by our yoga for human excellence practice. And I'm very sure these all practices which we enjoyed in our life so far with such a short time of practice in our life, and we are seeing the great benefits which we are getting it, right? So with that, definitely we will be able to accept that this is like a complete systematic practice which will be addressing the essential requirement of the human excellence which is needed in current way of life, not only to us, to the entire human society. So by keeping that in mind, let us follow this effectively in our life and show the results exhibited, so that through the changes what is being made or exhibited in our life can be revealed or realized by others. So that will be like a motivational factor for them to follow this system also. So that is what we all need to start doing by keeping in our mind. So in this point of time, I just have recalling a poem written by our guru, which is like essentially giving all the discussion points which we went through so far, right? Yeah. So in a topic of mental culture, our guru has written this poem. You should realize the value of human birth. You are not body alone, but in addition, you are mind, life, and truth in conjoined function. This knowledge will render your talents to come to fruition and equip you to erase the imprints of adverse actions. Purity of thought and deed will raise you to the status of the Supreme Being, the indwelling Absolute. As we all know, many of us are living our life. When you see like majority of the human being in this world, they are living their life like a body life, right? So the body is physically seen by them. So they all think that this is me and I am living the life. So whatever the enjoyments seen in their life, so they are relating to the body and moving ahead with that life. So that is the first step we all should realize. The third line is talking about, right? We are not only body, and we need to realize the unseen things which is inside our body also, like mind, life, and truth. The truth, which is like a divine quality, which is coming out of that fullness of that truth. From the absolute truth, we are all coming out as a fraction. So we are all holding that truth within us. So that has to be realized by us. And then we have to start using this knowledge and improve further to enjoy all those benefits of this conjoined functioning happening within our body. right? When we come to this step, we will be able to realize the quality of the Supreme Being and also to exhibit the similar qualities in our life also. So, this process of self training is mental culture, friends, and do all you can to spread this philosophy in practice. So, as we enjoyed by learning this practice and the changes it made in our life, so this is what our guru is suggesting in that end of that poem. So, do all you can to spread this philosophy in practice. So, then whatever we can do, we will be, we need to do in spreading this philosophy, right? This yoga for human excellence only can provide the required benefits to all the human beings in a greater extent. And also, it is suiting for anyone wherever they are living and whatever the way of life they lead, right? So, that is the reason this is like most suiting. So, we need to do all we can in spreading these philosophies. So, with that request and with the strong commitment on our practices, let us all continue doing the practices to excel in our life and address all those missing gaps to achieve the proper requirement by entire humanity. So, with that wish, I'll be concluding